plaintiff, Gregory Clark, was dating the defendant when she got pregnant, but he claimed she was cheating on him with her ex. So Gregory petitioned the court for a paternity test. He's also suing for breach of contract. Defendant Jenna Gandy says Gregory is the cheater who had several different profiles on dating sites while they were together. Jenna insists Gregory is her son's father, and she's countersuing for personal property.
Start with you.
I'm petitioning the court today for a DNA test because I believe Jenna was cheating with her ex, right?
When? How old is the child?
The child is 4 years old now. I met Jenna on a dating app. And
how long ago?
I was 2012. We dated for like a year, and she became pregnant. And like I said, she was cheating with her ex, staying out all night.
How'd you know?
He's lying.
Staying out all night, and he was always in the picture while we was dating.
Okay, and when you would mention it to her, what would she say?
They were friends.
Okay. And you say, why are you coming in so late at night? What would she say?
Well, they were just friends, hanging out, having fun.
All night?
All night.
And you just accepted that? And
I trusted her. I trusted her, Joe. I trusted her.
Okay, so what caused you to distrust her?
Well, to get to that, I mean, it's a little later, but
well, we got a little time. We can go there. We can go there and come back. What caused you to distrust her?
I stopped trusting her when she stopped answering her phone.
In the middle of the night or when?
Right, in the middle of the night.
So you used to answer it in the middle of the night.
Right.
You say, hey, baby, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Where you at? When you coming home? I trust you, but I just want to know what you're doing. What would she say?
She would let me know when she was coming home. Yeah, she would.
Okay, and so this time, what happened?
A lot of things happened before
What?
Before the distrust.
What? You're accusing a woman, and now we're having a paternity test. You have to do more explaining than this.
Yes, sir.
Because I know that's why you want this paternity test, because of the story you're giving me about you trusting your woman to be out with a man all night on a regular basis, and you trusted that there was no problem there. Then suddenly, probably after the baby came, then it became, oh, there's a problem now. I'm going to get out this child support.
Well, I mean, like I said, she became pregnant. I questioned it. She assured me that it was my child. I said, okay, I'm gonna man up. I'm gonna man up and be, take care of my child, be a family man. I took care of her for 5 years. She never worked. She never did anything. She didn't have to.
And the child, that's more important.
Yes, the child. And
you took care of the child.
And my stepchild, yes. And, okay, earlier this year, this is when the distrust came into play.
Start staying out again on that.
Yeah, she started her and her. I helped her and her.
This time it was a
ex.
different friend.
No, it's the same guy.
Same friend.
Same guy.
Showed back up.
Same guy. They went into business together selling hot dogs. But I'm thinking.
Leave that alone. You gave me a lot of material there, but this is a family show. Go ahead.
But she started being very disrespectful.
How so?
Well, she would say things like, "Boy, get you some business," stuff like that.
Why?
I don't know why. She just did.
Did you ever ask her, why are you talking to me like this?
I mean, she would never respond, or she would just change the subject.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Me and Greg, Your Honor, me and Greg was together 5.5 years. Greg is a cheater. He has he has several.
Let's just use the name Mr. Clark. Yeah, that Greg.
Yeah.
You keep saying Greg is a cheater. Greg did this.
Mr.
Greg
Clark.
did that. Greg ain't done nothing. This Greg ain't done nothing. And I don't like the way you're saying it, quite frankly. So call him Mr.
Clark is nothing but a cheater. He has several profiles on the dating site, which he got when we were together.
How she know I got these dating sites?
Greg has hit on my childhood friend, text messages back and forth since we've been together.
Not true.
I have evidence of that.
This says, just looking for friends to hang out with. I like to go out to eat, shoot pool, and walks in the park. Simple things in life.
When me and Greg got together, when we decided to move forward with our relationship, we dated about a year. You know, he wanted a baby, and I told him we were supposed to, get married, buy the house and everything. I ended up getting pregnant first. When we decided to move forward with our relationship, I was going to be the stay-at-home mom. He was going to be the financial provider. That was the agreement. I always wanted to go into business for myself and start a sandwich shop, because since I moved
What about this guy he was accusing you of that you're about to tell me about?
Yeah, what about
which is my friend, my best friend, actually.
Y'all, we were out all night all the time?
No, never have I been out all night with him, ever.
Yeah, right.
Except when he gave me his hot dog business.
Yeah. Yeah, Judge. There it is right there. There it is.
I tried.
There it is. The hot dog business. Yeah.
I tried my best.
There it is.
This was 5 years into the relationship. I always wanted to go in the food business. I actually wanted to start a sandwich shop, because when I moved to Mobile, I noticed they didn't know nothing about corned beef and stuff like that. And I wanted to bring Detroit flavor to Mobile. So my friend, he inherited the hot dog business. He didn't want nothing else to do with it. He knew I wanted to get in the food industry. He asked me that me and Greg want to take it over. I have a hot dog cart.
You already had one?
I had one, yeah, that I purchased. And it was just slow, rolling with getting it started. So he was like, well, I would train you. I told him, let me talk it over with Greg. with Mr. Clark.
And that took you all night, the training? That's a lot of training.
We didn't stay out all night.
Working. It was working what?
It was Mardi Gras season, and we sold hot dogs downtown Mobile. It was Mardi Gras season. It was round the clock. We sold hot dogs downtown Mobile. I went home.
That's what she told you when she came home.
It's the truth.
Round the clock, Judge. Come on.
It was.
Around
how the Mardi Gras
the clock.
How did she breach a contract?
Well, I gave them $1,300.
Them whom?
I gave her and the hot dog.
That's not true.
$1,300.
You loaned it to them?
I have proof.
You loaned it or gave?
I loaned them $1,300.
All right. When were they to repay?
They agreed to repay me after the weekend.
All right. 1 week later.
Right.
Because they were going to sell, obviously, a lot that weekend or whatever.
Right, around the clock.
All right.
Around the clock, Judge.
Got it, sir.
Yeah.
And $1,300 was
That's not true.
When was that loaned?
19 of January was $700 I gave them. And 3 days later, I gave them on the 22nd of January, I gave them another $600.
All right, ma'am. What do you say to this?
Greg didn't give me any money towards the hot dog business.
Wow.
He didn't make any of these
cart.
2 loans?
Wow.
No.
Wow.
I bought my own cart.
How do you think he's making these 2 loans up then, ma'am?
Because Greg, he wanted to control me with money.
I understand.
So when I started
that's why
making
he brought
money,
you across
he wanted
country
me to bring
control
the
you.
money to him. And when I didn't, he said, well, you owe me. You promised me this. You promised me that. And I never promised him
What
anything.
did you say
Yeah,
when
you
he
did.
said you
Yeah.
promised him?
No,
What
I
did
did
you tell
not.
him? Okay.
I have
need
text
that money
messages
for my tag.
letting him know that I don't.
Sir, do you have any evidence? She says she has
Yeah, I got it right
text
here. You know I need that money
And-
for my tag. You knew that.
The counterclaim,
Yes.
$2,835 for your personal property. How does he owe for that?
Because when Greg put me and the children out the house, when I came to remove my things, he was acting very irate. He called the police and they told me whatever I can fit in my Dodge Charger is all I could take while they were there, and I would have to sue him for the rest. Which was my furniture. I have a list of items that's
Let's see it.
owed
So
to
you
me.
never called back to get them?
To get my stuff, he said don't come on his property. The police told me if I came on his property, I was in the wrong.
He told you that when again?
March 30th of 2018.
And you never called back?
I called. I
she
tried
got
to get
it.
my stuff. I have text messages asking for
There
my
you go.
belongings, and he's saying,
There you go.
I'm not getting you. This is when
There
he
you
first
go.
put us
That's what I
out.
need. And what is this saying, ma'am? I'm not clear on this.
Nah, that's for me, Judge.
$700, you say?
And
January
$600 on the
19th.
22nd.
And then for all the love and support you give.
That's what he gave it to me for.
That's a gift. That means gift. And your counterclaim, hey, I'm going to start putting your stuff on the porch. Well, y'all need to come get this tonight. I don't know, ma'am. What you've shown me is that he's telling you to come get your things.
He was trying to just throw me out, and he wrote, the police officer told him that he can't throw me out because that's my home as well.
Hey, I'm going to
so
start
he gave me a
putting your
legal
stuff
eviction
out.
notice
This is
right
February 12th. Okay. All right. Judgment for the counterclaimant, $2,835, and your claim is dismissed. This was clearly a gift to her, not a loan. DNA is more important than this money, so
Yeah, it is.
let's see what that is. Oh, yeah, it is. Why'd you wait so many years, sir?
I asked her from the beginning, Judge. Was
Oh, so you kept asking her for 4 years? And so
No.
you let it ride for 4 years, having your child think you were the father, with you really questioning it all along? Did you have the child calling your daddy?
Yes, sir.
Is the child last name yours?
Yes.
But yet you weren't sure, and you let that child believe that and told that child to call you daddy for 4 years. Why would you do that? Why would you mislead that child knowing that you weren't sure?
I don't know, Judge.
Yeah, you got some very poor excuses for a lot of what you do. I let my wife come home or my woman come home after staying out all night because I trust her.
I did.
That's what I'm saying. You just like you did give her a baby. You did. A child is yours. Have a good day.
I just want to co-parent and coexist.
Oh, we're going to have to coexist, but
Co-parent?
yeah, we're going to have to co-parent as well.
Okay.
I'm going to do my part, take care of my child.
That's all I ask.
Plaintiff Taylor Cole believes the defendant is her father, but sometimes he claims her and sometimes he doesn't. Taylor says she wants to know the truth, so she petitioned the court for a paternity test, and she's suing for a false arrest and slander. Defendant Dion Brown says around the time Taylor was conceived, Taylor's mother slept with Dion's friend, and Taylor has his friend's last name. Regardless, Dion does believe that he is Taylor's father, and he's countersuing today for assault and damaged property.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I asked the court for a DNA test against Dion because sometimes he claims he's my father and sometimes he claims he's not my father.
He tells you that?
Yes.
When is the last time he told you that?
We got into a disagreement and we was on the phone and he was like, go ask your dad for help and stuff. Like he refers to this other guy as my father.
Okay.
And I have a screenshot of him referring to the man as my father.
Let's see it. Please get your daughter and baby mama. They have been harassing me for too long. I'm ready to go on Jerry, which is Jerry Springer, about this. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
On my birth certificate, I got that too. There's no one that signed my birth certificate.
No one?
Yeah, no one signed my birth
Okay.
certificate. What he tells me and what my mom tells me, it don't add up and make sense to me, so.
Did your mom tell you he's your dad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you believe he says this. Why? Why do you think he says it?
I think it's because, like, he mad at my mom.
Okay, so he
whatever
does this out of anger?
Yes,
Is this your mom?
yes.
You want to testify? Why don't you
Yes,
come
hi.
up? State your name.
My name is Cherie Coverhide.
Okay, what
Pleasure to be
background
here.
can you give me on this?
Pretty
Take me-
much, just to sum it up real quick, I met Dion back when I was like about 14-ish. Ended up having Taylor. He is the father. I'm for sure he is her father. He's just, for some odd reason, he doesn't like me. I mean, hate me. He says he makes Facebook posts. He goes live about us. He's said things about me that's not true. He's came for all three of my kids, including Taylor.
Came for them to
Saying they're crazy, they're stupid, they're retarded.
Why do you think he's doing this?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't have any dealings
How
with
long has he been doing this?
It just recently started within the past maybe year, all of a sudden, out the blue.
Do you have any idea why your dad is doing all this suddenly?
Because it was another guy involved in my life, like another father figure.
And so that only recently came up, man?
Oh, no. Okay, no. So back when I had her, when I was pregnant with her, I was 100% honest with both parties. I unfortunately had relations with the other guy, and It was after he went to jail, but I didn't know I was already pregnant. So I was perfectly honest. We need to get a blood test. I'm not for sure. So
was there a DNA test taken?
Yes. And he's her father. He's 100%.
Let me hear from you, sir.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, Taylor knows she's my child. She knows I love her. She knows I would do anything for her. She knows this. I just don't tolerate disrespect. This is what she is to me. She cusses me out. Where the confusion is coming from, Your Honor, her mother, who is standing here today lying to you, slept with my friend and then told him that Taylor was his. That's why Taylor's last name is Cole, which is not my name or her mother's name. It's his last name, the guy that she slept with. And for a while, I wasn't allowed to be around Taylor. And I took it upon myself to go downtown and take a blood test. I took a blood test. It came back 99% that she was my child. So when I tried to be around her, the guy didn't want me around because he was my friend, and we fell out after that. He didn't want me around, so I guess he started telling her I couldn't see her, but all her life I tried to be there. The only thing that I say is when she don't get her way with me, she'll bring this man up to me to hurt me. And it really hurts me that she's still carrying my daughter. She's still carrying this man, this last name after all of these years. It was never changed. She'll bring his name up, and then when she wants something, she'll call me and I'll say, well, why don't you call him? I don't never say I'm not her father. I've never said that, Your Honor.
All right. So when she disrespects, curses him out, he might not even be referring to bloodline. I might say that to my daughters based on my daughter wouldn't do this to me. My daughter wouldn't talk to me like that. So you're not my daughter. So that could be where that response comes from. And now how are you suing him for false arrest and defamation?
On June 28, 2016, me and him got into a disagreement. And
over what?
I really can't remember.
Okay.
But he went in and told his wife, tell your company to leave. So I'm like, well, you're my father, so why would you tell your wife, tell your company to leave, and I came over here for you? And so he goes outside. So now we're on the porch, and I'm on the phone with my sister, and I'm explaining to her what happened, and I said, him. And he got out the car, he came up the stairs and started punching me, dragging me, kicking me. So it was a knife on the table. I picked up the knife, and I said, if you come by me, I'm gonna stab you if you hit me again. And so as I'm saying that, I scratched it was a printing machine, like I guess where they make their t-shirts, and I scratched that. I go outside, get in the car, I'm telling my cousin to pull off, like get me from over here. And that's when he called the police, and he told them that I attacked him, and he wanted me arrested. So I was falsely arrested because I didn't attack you.
You have the police report today?
No, but I have it where they dismissed the case.
Okay, so let me see it. Police report. So you were never charged?
Yes, she was.
It says dismissed.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you weren't charged.
Right.
In fact, to be dismissed, you had to be charged. Mm-hmm. They dismissed what? The charges.
Mm-hmm. Sir.
Now, was there a trial or what?
No, sir.
Why did they dismiss it? Do you know why?
Because I did not go to court. I did not want my daughter. I love my daughter. I didn't want her in jail.
Yeah.
I just really wanted her away from my house at that time. I have audio, Your Honor. I have text messages. If you listen to some of this or look at some of this, it's not a way a child talks to
Let me see what
parent.
you have, and let me listen to what you also have.
Okay, you can. That's.
Don't nobody give a about that little. You still need to go get a DNA test. And y'all, my last name is Cole, cause that Cole did more than anything a laid dirt right burning Deion Brown could have did. That you don't even know who the that man is. You don't look nothing like that man, and you what? Talk about your business.
That's how she talked to me and my wife, Your Honor. This is how she talks to us.
Okay, now can we play the? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
What do you want to play? You have a video?
Yeah,
What is it going to show?
Him slandering like my name and talking about my personal.
All right, let's see it.
Taylor, which is my daughter, which is the oldest up, out here making your daughter have abortions at 18 because you telling her what type of mom is you. You made my daughter have what? Abortion once or twice. Tell me she not ready. Get your daughter out these streets and out of everybody's bedroom. And get your daughter, man. out of everybody's abortion clinic.
Yeah, he was attacking your mother for the most part, although the things he said were distasteful to say about your daughter, to say the least. But he was talking about your mom. Secondly, that's him giving his opinion. Opinions are not slander. And if she had terminated any pregnancy, that part was a fact. So if you wanted to defend the pregnancy termination and we determine that it is untrue, then he's liable for slander. And so I don't know if you want to go through that or not. And then let me get to the assault and damaged property you're countersuing for.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. As you have the pictures up there, I have a picture of what my machine cost. She already admitted to you that she stabbed it. On this day of this incident, Your Honor, my wife brought her to my house. She became disrespectful. I asked my wife to get her because she the one that brought her. And she's talking about, you don't have to tell her to tell me to leave. I'm your daughter. She came on the porch talking about, no, him to my other daughter, Your Honor, cussing me out. I got out the car. I asked her to leave. She swung on me. My son grabbed her. They put her in the house. She ran in the house. She got a knife. She started stabbing my machine, cutting the wires of the pictures that I showed you. All of this time, the police is coming. They pull up the street. She runs outside.
But you have a police report that reflects that?
Yes, sir. I handed it to you. That's
no, this isn't a report. These are charges. I need a report.
Okay.
The police report would be the best thing to convince me that what you're saying is right or what she's saying is right. And so far, I'm not sure who is telling the truth about this assault. So the damaged property is your machine.
My press.
Your
my
press machine, I'm sorry. I'll grant you that for $500. She admits to having done that. And we'll take a look at the paternity test, would you please?
Okay.
And we know, as I said, young lady, the police believes you did it. So he did not file false charges against you in effort to get you locked up illegitimately. That's what you would have to prove. And the prosecutor thought you did it. All I'm going to tell you is Deion Brown is your father. Do what you want with your name. He's your father. Have a good day. Judgment for the defendant. Your claim is dismissed.
I don't know why you got me on here, little girl.
What you can't do is
keep
our name out your mouth.
You know I love you, little
Worry
girl.
about your hoe.
Hey, you need to.
You just mad because you don't look like this, baby
And
girl.
you
I'll be
flat.
mad too.
You flat.
Tell the truth while you
my dude.
Tell the truth.
You my
Tell
dude.
the truth.
Y'all trying to sue the whole city.
I'll be
flat.
mad too if I look like that.
If she continues to be disrespectful, I don't want nothing to do with her. I'm not gonna tolerate no child calling me out my name, disrespecting me in no kind of way. I would stay away from her if she continues to be disrespectful. Now, if she respects me, I would love her with open arms. Other than that, that's all I have to say.
This too much for my baby. The things that he said to her and said, we won't have no dealings with him. None. As if, just like before.
I just would like to disrespect away from my kids. She brings it to my 14-year-old and my 1-year-old. Other than that.
And she's only disrespectful when she's being disrespected. She's not disrespectful.
Well, in no
but when
world,
someone violates her,
in no world
and disrespect her,
a child is not to disrespect their parent. My mama disrespect me, she cussed me out. I didn't cuss back at her.
Plaintiff Charlotta Dixon says in 2009, the defendant reached out to her and claimed she was Charlotta's sister, but Charlotta's father denied it. So Charlotta petitioned the court for a DNA test, and she's suing for emotional distress. Defendant Theodosia Brady had been searching for her father since she was a child, and when she was 41, a private investigator finally tracked him down. Theodosia insists her father told her that Charlotta was her sister, and she's countersuing for harassment.
All right, start with you.
Your Honor, after this case, I'd like a hug.
All right, if you're not mad at me, go ahead.
Yeah, even if I am, I still want a hug. Your Honor, this case started September 8th, 1961. I was born to a 16-year-old little girl who left me in the hospital.
Left you at birth in the hospital?
Yes, sir.
And never re-entered your life?
She did when I was 14.
So you went from the hospital to
my great
foster
aunt,
care? Oh,
my great aunt and uncle. My father established paternity, but the court saw fit to give, I guess because he was an alcoholic, they saw fit to give me to my great aunt and uncle who raised me.
And you knew they were your blood relative?
I knew that, yes sir, I did.
Okay. And did you just meet and see and spend time with other blood family members?
On my mother's side.
Okay.
On my mother's side. My father was in my life as a baby, but I didn't live with him. And then I think I was about maybe 7 or 8. Could have been younger than that. I'm not real sure when he left. And I didn't see him again until I was 12. At 12, he came back to get me. And he took me to Detroit, Michigan. And then my grandmother, I guess found out he was stealing me, and she came back. Well, I call her my grandmother, but she was really my great aunt. She came back and got me. And when I got back
At what age?
At 12.
Same age?
Yes, sir. I was only there for a few days, I think. And then I called my dad about a year or so later, and his girlfriend that I met when I went up there at the age of 12, she had 2 kids already. She answered the phone and she said, your dad doesn't want to have anything to do with you. He's mad at you. He doesn't want to have anything to do with you. And we have our own child. So I'm 14 by now. And I hadn't even met my mother by this time. And I never saw my dad again until I was 43. I found him online. And true to form, he was an alcoholic. And I've been drinking since I was 5. In 2009, I lived in Indiana, and I got a phone call from Theodosia Brady. And she says, hi, my name is Theodosia Brady, and I'm your sister. So I was really excited about having a little sister, and I took off right away. I didn't pay my phone bill, and I got on the Greyhound, and I went to go meet her. And we spent the whole day and night, it's about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I believe it was.
Good.
And then from 2009 until 2014, it was kind of like a sistership over the phone,
Good.
But we had a lot in common, and so I would go visit her and stuff like that. Well, in 2014, I asked my dad, because I went to visit my dad, and I said, Dad, is Theodosia Brady your daughter? And he says, no, her mom was already pregnant when I met her.
So today, if we establish that she is your sister, what you have to conclude is that your dad lied to you.
Absolutely.
All right. And now you're in a mess. Even though you all might be sisters, I hope you are, since that is your hope. And you hope you're not.
Absolutely not.
All right. See the mess you done got in? Did you ever think you were her sister or tell her that?
I believe we have a lot of
And
similarities.
who found each other first?
Actually, we didn't find each other, Your Honor. I was on the phone with the guy that I call my dad that's in a box. He's deceased now.
Yeah.
He's in an urn in my garage. And
so you already knew him and had a relationship with him.
I've been looking for my father since I was a little girl. My neighbor was a private investigator. We were sitting out talking about it one day, and boom, the next morning she had evidence for me like, do you have a sister named boom, 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 and a brother? And I said, I don't know. I've never met them.
How old were you at that point?
I was 41 years old. I met him in 2007. So that was, yes.
07.
Yes, sir. I found him. She found him.
When did you begin searching?
Oh, when I was
How old
young.
were you?
I was very young. I had his number in Detroit.
Okay.
He never contacted me back. I tried contacting him when I was 12.
Okay.
He said that he would get back with me. He would send for me. He never did. So I continued to search for him. I met him in 2011. I went to visit him in his home. The only thing I asked my father was, I took my birth certificate and I asked to see his identification so I can compare the penmanship, because my mother said, I don't want to see him. So I had nothing to go by other than his penmanship. So I took my birth certificate to match it up. I get to Michigan, Detroit,
He was all about partying and all that. I told him I was just there to meet him. I wanted to move forward. I didn't care what happened between him and my mom. It didn't matter to me. I was just so happy to have found my father. After I found him in 2007, he was on the phone with Shalata, Miss Dixon, and he said, "That's your sister on the phone. I gotta go. You want a number? You want to talk to her?" And I said, "Sure." I embraced her. I wanted to talk to her. And we started talking. That's how we became close-knit on the phone.
He told you?
Yes.
Your sister was on the phone?
Yes. He never denied her to me, and it's hurtful for her to say that he did that too. I just find that unreal, but that's...
What year was that?
This
07,
was 2009. This was after I met him.
That was 2 years after meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. After that, we talked on the phone and had a relationship, you know, back and forth. She came to my house to visit me a couple of times. I enjoy her company. I think she's funny. In 2016, Sylvester, that's the father, he passed away. We wanted a DNA testing. I've always asked him for a DNA testing since he would not give me his driver's license. He said I was his daughter, but I still wanted proof. I want to know where I originated from. And this has been my journey for a very long time. When I did find out who this man was, Your Honor, I had to call my mom on the phone, and I thanked her, and I said, "Ma, thank you for not allowing me to be raised with this man, because he was nothing of what I imagined him to be." And I was so happy that I wasn't raised with him, and I'm happy that if she is my sister, she wasn't raised with him. But nevertheless, he never gave me what I asked for, and he passed on. So I have my birth certificate. I have my mom and dad's marriage license. All I want to do is, a couple of reasons I'm here, Your Honor, is to establish paternity and countersue Miss Shalata for all the
She's going to tell me why she's suing.
Okay.
Let me see the documents.
And if she's my sister,
pardon me.
And if she is my sister, I would like to get her help, because I know in my heart she's doing drugs, and I have a video.
What type of drug?
Crack, and I have a video.
Of her smoking crack?
No. I have a video, Your Honor.
No, she does not.
I have a video.
All right, tell me why you're suing her, ma'am.
I'm suing her because, first of all, that's a lie. But I'm suing her because when my father died in Detroit, the funeral home needed 3 signatures to cremate my father. And I told Theodosia and I had an agreement. We were not going to sign it because I wanted to see my father's body. And the funeral home wanted to charge me $120 to pull him out of the refrigerator to let us see the body.
That's
so I told, Your Honor. I told she was going to drive us to Detroit, and we were going to go up there and view the body. At that time, she was willing to pay the $120 because I didn't have it. We never did go. So when we talked to the funeral home in Detroit, I asked them, "Why do I have to pay $120 to see my father's body?" She and I laughed. I said, "You can leave him in the refrigerator for a year till he thaws out and come back to life." We laughed about this. We had this agreement. And next thing I know, she called me in April, I think it was, in April of 2016. And she said...
How many months after was that?
He died January 12th.
And months later, he still hadn't...
He still hadn't been cremated. He's still in the refrigerator.
Not at the funeral home?
Yes. At the funeral home, yes, sir. Yes, he's still there.
You know that to be true?
Yes.
They called me because my birth certificate was signed by him. She ran her mouth calling up to the funeral home requesting obituary, wanting to know if her name was in there because...
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Go ahead.
That's a lie.
All right, so what are you suing?
We both were on the phone together.
What did she do to you?
First of all, because my father kept saying she was not his daughter, because they needed a signature from, they needed another signature. I'm his child, established his child. He kept saying she wasn't.
Are you going to answer my question? What has she done?
She went behind my back and had my father cremated. And this man said that she was not even his daughter.
Play this tape.
Okay.
Because this is sounding like some crackhead. This is sounding pretty crackish.
There you go. Mm-hmm. And what I refuse to do is to give up my truck. I have nothing. And I said, but here's all of my information, and I'm ready to leave the scene of the crime. I left, I went back to the crack house where I was smoking at. That was 7 years ago, Your Honor. With this girl. That was 7 years ago.
That was July the 12th of this year.
That's a lie.
Bye-bye.
Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Have a good day.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Lord.
Your Honor, I still got a hug. Your Honor.
Thank you, Lord.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
That is, where's the DNA test?
We're going to give it to you now.
Your Honor, I still get the hug?
Thank you.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
That was 7 years ago.
I'm not.
You
Go
lying.
tell him. Never
lying.
I know you money.
Are you serious?
You wanted this money.
Did you really
You
just
wanted
say-
this money to smoke crack, but it won't be on my
Let me tell you something.
Now, there
I
you
know
go.
exactly
Hush
what
your
you
mouth. Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth.
Your Honor, that tape
Well, all
was
this cussing,
old.
just give it to
It
him.
was old, Your Honor.
Please
That
let me
tape
not be
was
related
old.
to this
I have
lady.
not did crack since
Unfortunately, y'all
December
did
30th.
all that cussing, and y'all sisters.
Your Honor. And you still broke. Son of a
Plaintiff Ebony Hollis dated the defendant's son for a couple of weeks when she was 15 years old. And soon after, she started dating another man and got pregnant. Ebony now believes the defendant's son, who is deceased, may be her son's father. So she petitioned the court for a DNA test. Defendant Jacqueline Smith says when Ebony first got pregnant, both Ebony and her son insisted he was not the child's father. However, Jacqueline now hopes the DNA test will prove that he is her grandson, and they can get to know each other.
Let's start with you, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor. I came today with my 14-year-old son, Montan, because we were trying to get DNA established. When I was 15 years old, I lived in the same neighborhood as Miss Jackie, and I did date her son for a couple weeks. Shortly after that, I had a new boyfriend, and I became pregnant. I did assume that my boyfriend at the time was my kid's father. And when he got incarcerated about 7 years after that, that's when we took a DNA test through child support, and they ended up telling us that it was negative. He was not the father. Through that time, we had agreed to continue.
What year was that?
That was 2008 or 9.
Okay.
And through that time, we had agreed that we were just going to keep everything as it was, because that's the only father he knew.
Mm-hmm.
As time began, he did get some time, and I decided to go through and tell my son the truth. It was eating me up, and that's when I had started to look for Miss Jackie. I did find out from the neighborhood that her house had caught on fire, so I had assumed she had moved, and I didn't really push forward no more to look for her. Through the time, about January of this year, I was speaking with my the guy that was my boyfriend at the time, and we do have a child together. So my child's father, and he told me he was locked up, incarcerated with her other son, Jamar. I asked to speak to Jamar, which he then gave him my phone number, and Jamar had reached out to me. And when I spoke to Jamar, I was upfront with him, and I told him that it may be a possibility that Jovan, which is the other brother, could be my son's father. And I've been looking for his mother. So he then gave me Miss Jackie's phone number, and I reached out to her. Miss Jackie has been positive the whole time. She did not give me no negative feedback or anything like that, which I then have found out that Jovan is deceased now. During the time of knowing that he's been deceased, which the story that I found out was that they had an unexpected visitor come to the home, and by them having an unexpected visitor, they went and grabbed their weapons. And when Jovan went down the steps first, Jamar went behind him, and the firearm went off. And he's now deceased. And throughout this time, I've been trying so hard, Your Honor, of going to the counties to try to get DNA test results. And neither one of our counties in our local cities wanted to do it. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. And of course, she's residing in Columbus.
I used to go to Youngstown every summer for many years. Tough town.
Yes.
Let me get some background from you, ma'am.
Everything Ebony said is true. she met my son and they was dating because we used to take him to, that's why I didn't give her no problem because I knew it's a chance it might be his because we used to take him to movies, me and my husband, we used to pick him up and take him to movies. I met her mother and I met her father, and I met them and I asked him though, about a month later when Ebony came up pregnant, I asked my son, I said, Javon, is that your baby? It better not be your baby because see, he already got one. And I said, that better not be your baby. And he said, no, Mom, that's not my baby. I asked Ebony, I said, is that Javon's baby? And she also said that it wasn't his, it was the other guy. So I left it alone. So 2006, when my son got killed, what happened is, I'm gonna let you know what happened before you ask.
Please.
What happened is I was at work. I always worked 2 jobs. I was at work and my 2 boys was at home and I didn't even know they had a gun. Somehow, some way.
How old were they?
My oldest son was 21 and my youngest son was 17. And so I was at work and so I don't know what really happened, but what I was told is that my youngest son tried to give the oldest son the gun and then he tripped and the gun went off and it shot and killed my son.
How were you able to stay?
I got help.
Yeah, good.
I seen a psychiatrist and
Good.
so I took my son.
Grief counseling, good.
I took my son to get help too, but it seemed like I lost 2 sons because I went to get my son help, but
Did
things
he follow
got worse.
up? Did he follow up?
Yeah, he did.
He
but
did?
but he started hanging around with the wrong crowd, and then he ended up incarcerated because they didn't incarcerate him for what happened.
The accident.
Because it was an accident, but he ended up incarcerated because, that's what happened. He just couldn't take it no more.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. That's understandable. Well, we'll know for sure whether you have a grandchild here, right?
Yes, because Ebony, when my son Jamar called me, he said, Mom, I said, huh? Are you sitting down? I said, yeah, Jamar, what's wrong? Because I thought he had gotten in some more trouble. Yeah, Jamar, what's wrong? I thought he had got some more trouble. He said, I just got through talking to Ebony. She said that they had Frisco tested and it wasn't his baby. And she wanted to know if you be willing to take a DNA because she think it's maybe Javon's baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah. So instantly I called Ebony the next day. He gave me her phone number and I called her and me and her talked. So, and I told her, I never denied it because like I said, I know my son was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked her to send me a picture of him. This is the first time I ever got to see him.
Oh, God, bye.
First time, and that's why I keep looking at him when he walked in. I keep looking at him. He looked just like my son.
Does he?
He looked exactly like my son. And so
That's
when she
cool.
told me that, she had a son, so I asked her, I said, Ebony, would you please send me a picture? She sent me a picture. So I sent the picture to my sister. Me and her, so I sent the picture to her. So I called my sister on the phone. I said, Lena, who this look like? And she said, Javon, instantly. That's my son's name. She said, look just like Javon. I said, that's what I thought. So I text Ebony back and I said, Ebony, I said, we could get a DNA. I said, but I'm going to tell you, that's my grandson.
Oh,
Yep.
Beautiful.
We tried to get a DNA through Youngstown and they wouldn't do it. We tried to go to Columbus, Ohio, they wouldn't do it. So
Well, I'm glad we were able to accommodate you and go and get the results for me. And of course, you're the grandmother.
Thank you, God. I told you. I knew you was my grandson. I knew it. I knew it. I knew you was my grandson. I knew it. I'm happy. I got another part of my son.
I'm very, very happy. It's closure.
I'm happy too.
We got a grandma. Get to know her.
Yes.
Love you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
All this time.
I know. Now you got to let him come and stay with me.
I know.
So we get to know me. Come at least since school's out, come and spend a week with me at least. So you could get to know your other brother. Boy, you look just like Javon. God. He look more like Javon than Javon's
And it's so
son.
crazy because I'm 30 now and I haven't seen Javon since I was 15.
You looking
so I
at
don't
him.
know what he looked like.
That's him.
Wow.
He looked just like Javon, don't he? When he walked in that door, I know you probably wonder why I kept turning around looking at you. You look just like my son. This is your aunt. That's one of your aunts. You got a whole bunch.
Yeah, because she's so quiet.
I got 10 brothers and sisters, so you got a whole bunch of
Oh, my
aunts
goodness.
and uncles you got to meet. Because they all know about you because I showed all of them the picture. All of them know. Because all of them said the same thing. All of them said that's your grandchild. Because he looked just like Javon.
I talked to Frisco today. He was like, I sent him a picture and he said the picture reminded him of Jamar. That's why he brought it to me, like, Ebony, you don't remember the situation with you and Jovan? I'm like, oh my goodness, I really blacked that out.
I remember I asked you. You remember I asked you?